like, there's so much to say.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Diskourse featuring me, DJ Tomiwa. This is the series where we discuss all things DJing and music, and today, I'm sure you've seen the title, we're discussing Fireboy DML's album Laughter, Tears and Goosebumps. So this is the first of the album reviews I'm looking to do, and I think this album is definitely worthy of that honor. Now, there are 3 rules that apply when I do my reviews. Number 1, I only review albums that I like, okay? So I'm not here to criticize albums, I'm not here to criticize music artists and their music. I only review albums that I like. The reason being, I'm not looking to share bad music with you and just tear it down for the sake of it. I think music taste is subjective to a large extent, and what you like, you like. And for me, it's just about talking about music that I like, that I'm passionate about. My second rule is that I only review albums that I've listened to lots and lots of times. And this is because if you know anything about the music industry, it takes artists a very, very long time to put together an album, and they usually put a lot of work and effort into it, and I don't think you can unpack all of that in just 1 week of listening, and initial impressions can be deceptive, you know what I mean? So if I'm reviewing an album, best believe that I've listened to it loads and loads of times. And rule 3, well, there's not really a rule 3, I just thought 3 rules sounds better than 2. But yeah, going forward, the structure for my album reviews will be that I'll first look at the artist, then I'll look at the album and the context in which it was released, and then I'll go through a track list on a track by track basis before giving my final impressions of the overall album. So let's get into it. Okay, first thing I'm gonna say, I'm sure a lot of you know already, but Fireboy DML, aka Damola, is actually my first cousin. Our mums are sisters, and though I was raised in the UK and he was born and raised in Nigeria, since we've been traveling to Nigeria, which has been about 20 years now, it's how long I've known him. So I am particularly close to Damola, and you'll find sometimes I'll probably call him Damola more than I call him Fireboy DML. So yeah, I can give you some insight into who he is as a person, even before obviously he became a superstar. I'm not going to say anything that you can kind of just find on the internet. He's done so many interviews about it, speaking about how he came from where he was to where he is now. But if you don't want to research yourself, or you don't know the story, just to give you a general overview, the basic story is that he grew up in a city in Nigeria called Abeokuta. He had a very humble upbringing, basically had a huge passion for music, and was putting out tracks until he got discovered by Olamide. If you don't know who Olamide is, he's one of the biggest Nigerian artists ever. And since Olamide's been supporting him, he's basically grown into one of the biggest Nigerian Afrobeat artists in the world. So what I can say about Damola growing up as a kid, he had a lot of time on his hands and he loved to use that creatively. He loved to write poems, he loved the music as well. He was always obsessed with poetry to the point where he would post poems that he'd wrote on Facebook. And this wasn't when it was cool, like it was never cool to post poems on Facebook, but he just did it because it was his huge passion. He loved writing, but his poems were excellent. His mum is actually a school teacher and she teaches English and she writes poems as well, so it's clearly something in the family. And even I would say actually to a large extent I'm obsessed with poetry, but I more prefer in terms of the context of rap and hip hop. So you could argue it's a family thing. Even at my mom's birthday, my mom's 50th birthday, I remember we read out one of Damola's poems because he really loved writing poems then. He also used to make music back in his school days. He used to produce tracks and record them with his friends, and he actually studied English at university, so it is really like a lifestyle for him. It's like more than a passion, but we'll speak more about that as I speak about the tracks on the album. So going into the album, Laughter, Tears and Goosebumps. Man, I remember when Damola was invited for the Starboy Fest that happened in summer last year, and he told me like, you know, I'm looking to drop my album as soon as possible. The funny thing is, I was a bit surprised because I was like, you're still quite a new artist. He still only had like 1 or 2 songs that had really been popular at that time, but he went for it and this is the result. So the reason for the title is very clear. That's all about getting you into your feelings. It's about him connecting to your emotions and your feelings through his music, and Damola's always been about that. So yeah, the album was dropped in November 2019, 13 tracks long, about 40 minutes long. In terms of genre, some will say it's Afro pop, some will say it's Nigerian R&B. Damola himself has coined the term Afro life, which is used to describe his music, and I think that's actually probably the best way to describe it. Throughout the songs on this album, they don't really fit into any particular genre, but the one thing that stays consistent throughout the 13 songs on the album is the quality of the songwriting. Damola, of course, wrote all of the songs on the album, and he has a distinct style. It actually reflects his personality a lot. Me and Damola as cousins, we do have kind of similar personalities in some ways. One thing is that we both know who we are. We're very strong on that. It's actually, I think, a family trait. We're both very solid in who we are. We don't try to conform too much to the crowd. which is another thing about us, that we like to preserve our uniqueness. We don't like people to be like us. And you can see that Damola has pushed that through this album. Hence why he dropped this album as a new artist that wasn't hugely known at the time. And he dropped the album with absolutely no features. And if you ask him, he will say this was driven by a distinct desire to be different. Another thing about Damola is that he has a very strong work ethic, and I'm like that too, and our moms are very strong as well, and we've kind of inherited that from our moms. And also he has an inner self-confidence which is very unshakable, and this is why again he was so confident to go and drop the album, to back himself, to drop the album without features. Also bear in mind that Damola had been making music since he was in school, and even since then I still have some of his old tracks on from when he was in secondary school and he was just making songs on his laptop, and they actually were good. Like he still had a lot of talent. Even when Olamide discovered him, Olamide was not the first artist and the first major artist to show interest in him. So he was very confident in his ability, and that's something that he relied on to make this album really good. And we're gonna go through the tracks in the order that they appear on the album. So first up is Niju. Now for me, this song was the absolute perfect song to start the album with. It just sets the tone straight away. When you talk about the Goosebumps part of Laughter, Tears and Goosebumps, this is very much represented on this song. It's a very soothing track. It's a ballad essentially, and actually this is actually Damola's, I would say, his purest style. He's a very versatile artist, there's no doubt about that, but this is actually what he prefers the most. I remember when we first used to go to Nigeria, I was always in love with hip hop. I would be rapping and reciting raps around the house, and Damola and his brothers, they love guys like Boyzone and Westlife, like all these ballad kind of guys, Ed Sheeran, Celine Dion, that's another one. Like they love these kind of guys with these ballads, and I was so happy that he put this song as the first song in his album. I remember listening to it for the very first time and I was almost tearing up, because this was like him saying, I'm sticking to who I am. I'm not gonna change because of the industry. The industry prefers a lot more like hype songs and party songs. He was like, no, I'm gonna put out my style, and you like it, then that's it. And even some of the lyrics are just very quirky and funny, but they still, you won't notice on the first listen. It might be like, you know, what's going on there? When he says things like, I miss you like an idiot misses the point. Like that is exactly right there. Damola's like style of writing, very quirky, very funny. He actually has a big sense of humor if you get to know him. The production by Fields is magnificent. I think it's probably the best word to use. Especially the strings at the end, they just get me every time. The drums, the whole composition is just fantastic. And again, Fields had to show his versatility on this album as well to keep up with Damola, and he did an amazing job. Also, just to quickly touch on the video, it's a bit mad, to be honest. I don't really know what to make of it still. Clearly the person who made the video wanted to add like a bit of a storyline to it, to make it like a Romeo and Juliet kind of story. And you know, it was pretty cool. Moving on to the second track, Vibration. Now this is probably the song that secured this album as a classic album, and what I mean by that is, this song is currently, as I'm making this album review, Damola's biggest song on YouTube. It's still in the charts, the top Nigerian charts, the top Afrobeat charts, even though the album was released almost a year ago. And it's just because of the pure, like fantastic nature of this track. I don't know how it works. I remember first time listening to it and I was like, okay, this is a nice track. But the more and more you listen to it, it's just got this infectious vibe to it. And you understand why it's called Vibration. It's completely original, there's nothing like it. I can't think of any other song that's like this song. Like, I can't compare any other song to it. The production is just fantastic. The way that Damola's vocals and his flows match the drum beats and the horns and all the little instruments is actually just magnificent. It's like a whole nother level of rhythm, the way this track just moves. It's fantastic. And in terms of the video, I'll just say that again was fantastic. It's just very artistic, very colorful. The ballet and the ballroom dancing styles in the video are just amazing. They show the class and just the magnificence of the song. It's really an absolute classic. Track 3, Scatter. Like, this was the party track for the album. You can tell, like, straight away, it's very easy. Like, the first time you hear it, you can just dance to it. For me, this was Damola saying, I'm not just here to just do love songs, just to do ballads and R&B. Like, I'm a flexible artist, I can do bangers as well. And he literally, like he says, when I enter Omo, the party scatter, like he's saying, I'm more than just a vibe, I'm here to literally rock parties. And it's funny really, because like I said, it's not Damola's natural style. I remember him saying actually that he didn't even like the song when he first made it, but he loves performing it. And actually shows how flexible he is as an artist, that even these songs that aren't with his natural style, they're still bangers. But yeah, I really do have to talk about the video. The video takes this song to a whole nother level, in my opinion. Like, when this video came out, I was obsessed with it. I couldn't stop watching. I've watched it probably over 100 times at least. Like, it is a fantastic video. The storyline, the dancing, the Joker influence, the kind of end of the world kind of vibes, like the underground uprising, the clear Michael Jackson influence in some of the dance moves. It was a big statement. It was saying, I'm here, I'm going worldwide. You can't put me in any box. I'm too big for this country. And the way that Damola like kind of captures the Joker, it really reminds me of when we were younger. We used to just play pretend and pretend to be different characters and stuff. But it's so amazing how he's using these skills that we developed as kids to like now be a global superstar. Track 4, Jealous. This was the breakthrough track. This was the track that took Damola from being a artist that some people knew he was very niche to being someone that they were playing his song everywhere. All the biggest artists were playing his song on their Instagram, on their Snapchats. This is the song that took him to a whole nother level. The beat by Cracker Mallow, who is the producer, is just so infectious. It makes you want to listen to the song over and over again. It's just such a vibe. It's got this chilled like kind of feeling to it, and also the songwriting, again, it really stands out because the way that the lyrics flow, the way that it comes in on the drop, it's just all fantastic. I must say though, I'm really happy this isn't the song that he was known for, because some artists, they come out and they do their song that goes worldwide and they're known for that. But I'm really happy that now even Vibrations eclipsed this song in terms of YouTube views, for example, and he'll continue to make songs that just eclipse that song. He won't be like a one-track wonder basically. And also I want to talk about the video as well. The video was fantastic. Again, Damola's acting was just on point. The way he was looking for the girl when she left him, the way he was like obsessed and he was like trying to beat himself up, and then when he found out her at the end, his reaction was it's just fantastic, honestly. And the dance moves as well are definitely legendary. The chemistry between him and the girl was fantastic. And yeah, and just the fact it had a storyline. Like, most Nigerian music isn't really meant to make you think about things, but this video was very thought-provoking. Track 5, Energy. This is actually one of my favorite songs on the album, you know. Some people might say it's a filler track because it's not one of the big bangers, but I think this song is actually one of the songs that just typifies how amazing this album is. It's one of those songs that just gives the album more replayability, just manages the tempo of the album. I just love the way that it flows on the track, the way that the different instruments are mixed together is perfect. It's just a feel-good track with excellent production, really. And fun fact again, the album was actually meant to be only 10 tracks, but I feel like this is one of those songs that they probably couldn't take off because it just made the album flow better altogether. It made it seem like an actual complete album rather than just a compilation of songs or an EP. Track 6, Like I Do. This song feels very much within the realm of R&B, and it's possibly the most popular song on the album that didn't get a video. I told Damon that he should have done a video for every track on the album, but he said that he can't do that. Definitely, again, pulls on your heartstrings, and it brings out that Goosebumps kind of feeling. Damola really pushes his vocals to the absolute max. He's really become a formidable singer, which really sets him apart, by the way, because most Afropop artists can't really sing outside of autotune. But yeah, his range is fantastic and it's a really loved song. It's an excellent song. Track 7, Bass Boss. Like, this track is one of my favorites, definitely. It's really got like a kind of fella kind of vibe. Probably the most underrated track on the album, in my opinion, because I think this track is such a banger. Another thing that makes this song very unique is the ad-libs that he puts on the chorus. Very, very reminiscent of Wande Cole, who is Damola's probably his favorite Nigerian artist. He's always loved Wande Cole, even from like the Mohits days. He's been a huge fan of Wande Cole. But yeah, this is definitely a beat that feels, again, showed his extreme versatility. The outro with the keys, like, it really does feel like Fella's just playing those keys. Track 8, King. Now this song is where it all started. This song was the song that Olamide heard and he was just like, I need to sign that kid. And he called Damola like straight away. Like, that in itself should just tell you how good this song is. Olamide, who could pick up any artist that he wants to, he called Damola and was like, yo, you've got it, you're ready. Like, I'm signing you. The mixture of Yoruba and English is fantastic. The lyrics actually are really, really good. Comes from a place where Damola was genuinely feeling like he wanted to be treated like a king, because he was an artist that was looking to be noticed, looking to be appreciated. He had that self-confidence in himself even before he got signed. This is Damola's self-confidence that he knows, like, I'm a king and I need to be appreciated. Damola also did the mixing himself, by the way, which is why he's particularly fond of this song. And if you ask him, he'll say it's his favorite song from the album. Extremely replayable, powerful lyrics, and great sing-along vibes as well. I must just say, again, on the video, very artistic, but honestly, the way they were chucking water at my cousin, like, I was like, man, he told me afterwards how he was chucking water on him, asking for more passion and stuff. I was like, bro, like, you need to look after my cousin, please. Track 9, Omo Logo. This track is for the clubs. This is for the Zatan and Olamide and Naira Marley fans. Obviously, Olamide didn't write the song, Damola wrote the song, but it just shows Damola's versatility again, how he's able to switch up his style and go from the intelligent, classy university student that he is, but also be like more raz and more fun. And again, that's how Damola is as a person. Like, he's sort of person who can be very smart and very intelligent and calculated, but he can also be very silly and just quirky and funny. Like, that's where you get the laughter part from. Track 10, High on Life. This is actually my favorite song on the album, and this might surprise a lot of you, but if you know me, it probably won't surprise you. For me, again, knowing Damola and also myself and how our personalities can be somewhat similar, like I just vibrate with this track. Like, it's just all about good vibes. It's about just enjoying life. And also lyrically, I think this is probably the best song on the album. The use of multi-syllabic rhyme schemes and cadences. My life is a melody. Making money, making love, making memories, blessings follow me. One time for the people that always pray for me, love and harmony, peace and joy, more life to my enemies. Like, it's a summer vibe, and wherever you are, whatever mood you're in, it just makes you feel good and happy. I really must emphasize the depth of the production is another thing that adds to the replayability of the album, because the tracks are so layered. They don't just sound like a simple beat. Like, every time you listen, you just hear different parts, different echoes. It's amazing. Track 11, Field. For me, this is like the cousin of Jealous. Like, it's very similar to Jealous in some ways. Same producer, very strong R&B vibe, great vocals, and it's also a very flexible track that has very universal appeal. Again, it's just a great track to just be in between some of these other tracks, but the overall quality of the album doesn't come down when you have these tracks that are not the bangers, but they're still just excellent tracks. Track 12, What If I Say. Again, an absolutely amazing vocal delivery, amazing lyrics. The lyrics are just really, really, really good. Like, you can tell that this person is not just an average artist. What if I say, make you come chill with me at my place? Where you go if you come, maybe this Friday. Me and you, we go chilling in my room. We go listen to some songs on my Beats by Dre. If you're not really into poetry and rap, you may not understand how advanced that is, but he's got a multi-syllabic rhyme scheme that he's got there. He's adding internal rhymes as well, whilst also maintaining perfect cadences. It's very unusual for Afrobeats. And again, a fun story here, a bit of background for you. So like I said, I was really obsessed with hip hop then, and my cousins used to think, oh, what's this horrible hip hop stuff? This guy's just mumbling to himself, he sounds like he's crazy. They used to like mock me and make fun of me. I think Damola later on, because I exposed him to like good hip hop, he started to appreciate how actually complicated and advanced hip hop is. And even now, to this day, he listens to some of the great hip hop artists that I've recommended to him. He even says himself, if you ask him, he'll say that I write like a rapper. So I like to think I've influenced him a bit in that way. Though I know he loved poetry before I even said anything anyway. And on the video, again, just torturing my cousin, like putting him in the sea in Seychelles. He was saying how cold it was and he had to like perform. But he did his thing, no doubt. And the last track on the album, track 13, Wait and See, again, another one of my favorites. This is a very context sensitive song because, for those who know, Damola was starting to increase some interest and was putting out songs independently as an artist. And when he put out King and he got signed by Olamide, then he put out Jealous and a few other tracks on the YBNL album. Jealous was around, it was a big track for a long time and people were desperate for music from Damola. And this was him basically saying, like, wait and see, you'll see the finished product and you'll see that it's worth it. He was working so hard, like he barely sleeps. Like, this is him saying to his fans, like, thank you for your wait. I hope that you've seen now that it was worth the wait. It is such a feel-good song. It's a victory lap and the strings in it are just so uplifting. It's just an amazing way to finish off this classic album. And moving on to my final impressions of the album, honestly, I do believe it's a classic. I think that for Nigerian music, this song is extremely pivotal. For me, this is the biggest album since Superstar by Wizkid. And I'm not just saying that as his cousin, obviously I'm a bit biased. When Wizkid dropped that album, things weren't the same afterwards, and it was known as a classic album because there was pretty much no songs that you would skip on that album. And again, we're seeing that here with Fireboy's LTG. It got something like 100 million streams, like, and the way it just came so explosive because it had no features. It was very unprecedented, like it was just amazing. For literal months, and I mean like months, all of these songs were the top songs in the Nigerian like streaming charts, like all of them, not just some of them, like all of them. And this is a time when Burna Boy just released an album, Davido just released an album, Wizkid had just released an EP. Like, the impact of this album, it has to be respected. And even now, you can go and listen to it. I'm sure you'll listen to it after this review, and it just still sounds so fresh and timeless. And that's why I would say it's an absolute amazing album. And I'm really looking forward to his next album, his sophomore album. not even a year later and we're getting another album. It just shows how hard he works. Apollo, there's already 3 tracks released from it at the time of me making this video, and there's going to be 17 tracks, so it's going to be even maybe a bit longer. It's going to be another fantastic album, I have no doubt about it. You're going to continue to see his versatility, his talent, and his work ethic in every single song. But yeah, what do you guys think of the album? Did you enjoy it? Did you think maybe it was overrated or wasn't that good? Well, that's, you're entitled to your opinion. But yeah, I want to know what you think. Do hit me up in the comments below. I'll be there as usual. Of course, don't forget to like and subscribe as usual. But for now, I'm out. Thanks and stay blessed.
Let the beat ride, maybe you'll see why I got so much to say and not enough time.